count to 70.
That's incredible. You know, missions like this are important milestones for everyone involved, from the crew members who fly to those that they represent, and to the host of scientists and engineers around the world who have an opportunity for their research or their technology to be tested in microgravity. Everyone learns from these missions. And for Axiom Space, this is at the heart of why we do these missions. We are building opportunities for others to advance what is possible and expand what is known. We want to enable every human everywhere to take part in this. Now, after a beautiful launch on June 25th, the AX-4 crew docked with the International Space Station a little over a day later, opening the hatch and greeting the Expedition 73 crew on June 26th. The crew shared some good words and a welcoming ceremony before quickly getting to work on their extensive itinerary. Now, each crew member brought with them a host of research, technology demonstrations, and outreach objectives, ranging from human physiology to space radiation impact studies, and even some gardening. Now, this crew maintained a very full timeline, but they prepared for this. Each crew member wanted to ensure that every minute of this mission was utilized well, and that all objectives were hit. So Peggy, Shukla, Suave, and Tibor were ready to work. And over the course of 18 days on board the station, they accomplished over 60 research activities, as well as more than 20 outreach events. And as their time on station came to a close, the AX-4 crew participated in a brief farewell ceremony where they said their goodbyes to the Expedition 73 crew. Now, for more details on the incredible work performed by this crew on orbit, check out axiomspace.com.
Now, at this time, the crew is getting closer to reaching the approach ellipsoid. So let's head back to Anna at Johnson Space Center to step through these next moments. How's it going, Anna?
And arrived at the International Space Station approximately 28 hours later. Now, once docked to the space station, the AX-4 crew was welcomed aboard by the Expedition 73 crew. And after a brief welcome ceremony that included Commander Whitson awarding Shukla, Suavosh, and Tibor with their orbital astronaut pin, the crew quickly got to work. Now, over the last 2 weeks, it has been such a joy and privilege.
You're looking at a live view of SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft Grace as we await its departure from the International Space Station to make its way back to planet Earth. We expect Dragon to push away from the space station at 4:05 a.m. Pacific Time or 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time with the crew of Axiom Mission 4, who spent nearly 18 days living and working on board the space station. In preparation for departure this morning, the AX-4 crew suited up and the hatches on Dragon and on station were sealed. Hello, everyone.
Dragon SpaceX on the Big Loop, depart burn 1 complete and nominal. You are go to doff suits per procedure 4.012.
Nominal departure and 4012 for Dragon.
And we just had confirmation there that that second departure burn, known as Depart Burn 1, has completed, and it was executed as expected. The crew is now going to start doffing or removing their spacesuits and getting settled in for their 22.5-hour journey back to Earth, again with that splashdown targeted for tomorrow morning, July 15th, off the coast of California.
As well as some well-deserved rest. But before that happens, we get to share their journey back to Earth with all of you, starting right now.
Now, ahead of departure, our teams look at a number of weather items. Some of the obvious ones are no rain or chance of lightning in the recovery zone, both for the safety of the crew inside the spacecraft and the recovery teams on the water. Now, we're also looking for wind speeds less than 10 miles per hour and relatively calm seas so that we can safely perform recovery operations, which includes landing a helicopter on the recovery ship to fly the crew back to shore. Now, once Dragon departs station, the crew's flight home is expected to last approximately 22.5 hours. Dragon will also execute a phasing burn to lower its orbit and line the spacecraft up with its landing locations. These 4 departure burns will gradually increase the distance between the spacecraft and the space station. Dragon will also execute a phasing burn to lower its orbit and line the spacecraft up with its targeted landing location. Then the action starts to pick up pace with trunk separation, closure of the nose cone, a deorbit burn, re-entry, deployment of the drogue and main parachutes, and then finally splashdown off the coast of California. The crew will then get picked up at sea by one of SpaceX's recovery vessels.
And at that point, the Axiom 4 crew will undergo
systems are all configured and ready to support the operational activities that will lead to the departure of the Axiom Mission 4 crew, wrapping up an 18-day docked mission aboard the International Space Station. And there on your screen, you're currently seeing a live view inside the Dragon spacecraft. The Dragon spacecraft docked to the space station's Harmony module, the space-facing port of the Harmony module, on June 26th. This over-the-shoulder view is in between Commander Peggy Whitson and pilot Shubhanshu Shukla. Again, the crew got suited up. The Axiom Mission 4 crew comprised of Peggy Whitson, Shubhanshu Shukla, Sławomir Uznański-Wisniewski, and Tibor Kampu have completed their 18-day stay aboard the International Space Station. So following the physical separation, we did have the first depart burn complete, known as depart burn 0. That was a short firing of Dragon's Draco thrusters, and it lasted approximately 16 seconds. And that burn was to increase the speed that Dragon is flying away from the station and send it further away from the orbiting laboratory. That departure burn will be followed
Houston
in
Station,
about 3
ISS
minutes.
thrusters are enabled.
Houston copies.
The depart burn 0 will be followed by the second